All right, we've got some breaking news now coming out of Jeffersonville, where an officer fatally shot someone overnight. And by someone, we don't know if it was male or female. Indiana State Police say this happened around 11:30 last night on North Shore Drive, which is right across the 2nd Street Bridge. You see a live picture there. Let's take it in full. Sergeant Carrie Hulls with Indiana State Police said police showed up last night doing what they call a welfare check, just checking on the well-being of someone. But they did that after getting reports that somebody was there making what were considered to be disturbing comments. Officers were able to make contact with that subject. Sergeant Hulls with ISP said he told officers that he had firearms. Officers with Jeffersonville Police, Indiana State Police, and the regional SWAT team were then brought in and staged outside. And that is when Sergeant Hulls said the subject began firing at the officers. A member of the regional SWAT team then fired at that subject, who we now know was killed.
Eventually, they were able to breach into the apartment and confirm that the suspect had been struck. He was confirmed dead at that time by medical personnel on the SWAT team. Immediately after that, the apartment building was cleared to make sure that there were no injuries. Nobody else in this incident was struck. There were any injuries whatsoever, other than the suspect being struck by the SWAT team member.
Now, anytime we hear the terminology police-involved shooting, that warrants a lot of follow-up questions, which we will do our due diligence to get you more answers about this. Sergeant Hull said the whole incident lasted around 3 hours. Again, you're looking at live images right now of what's happening in that area. You see police have it blocked off. Police do plan to be on that scene all morning as they continue to investigate.
Also new this morning, Louisville Metro Police are investigating a deadly shooting in the Russell neighborhood. Police say it happened just after 10 last night at the corner of 26th and Market. Officers found a man who'd been shot and he was taken to University Hospital, where he died shortly after. As of right now, no one has been arrested. If you know anything, call 574-LMPD.
It was pretty hectic.
We know it's a little hectic school year, but this was really traumatic this year. So that ought to tell you, you should have left well enough alone.
It was standing room only for the first school board meeting since the district debacle with transportation last Wednesday. The Van Hoos Center was packed with concerned parents and families, all looking for answers. School board members heard from a lot of people who were not happy with the district, and not just parents, but also drivers as well. Most fear a repeat of the first day of school when they go back in a few days.
And a big factor in the chaos from last week was the lack of communication. So at the meeting, Dr. Marty Polio presented his plan to change that this time around. Taylor Woods and photojournalist Ian Hardwick were there. They bring us the details.
I was mad, confused, perplexed, upset, but the worst of all, I'm disappointed.
A packed house at the Van Hoos Education Center. Parents, staff, students, and community leaders waiting to hear answers about the first day transportation disaster.
I'm disappointed that we didn't follow through on what this board was told was going to happen as we move forward.
District 1 board member Diane Porter spoke on the behalf of her district, where a student got home very late.
Since 1975, when the two districts came together, to my knowledge, we have never had a student taken off the bus at 9:58 p.m. This is unacceptable.
JCPS Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio presenting what they've been able to accomplish since the mess. A key fob will be placed on students' book bags so the bus driver can make sure the student is on the right bus. This Friday, staff members will make sure the elementary and middle school students know their bus stop and numbers information. But a new bus tracking app may or may not be ready on Friday, instead looking more like next week.
Or it can have notifications in the afternoon that the bus is entering the neighborhood so that the parent knows that they go meet their bus. We hope to have that ready to go. At a minimum, it will be early next week.
As far as a long-term plan, Dr. Polio says an internal audit team would be beneficial to keep track of analysis and leading causes of current systems the school system is using. But board members want an outside independent review. In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS11 on your side.
Now, JCPS continues to collaborate solutions with Alpha Route and plans to have UPS review its routes. This Friday is First day, take 2, but only elementary and middle school students will go back on Friday. Then on Monday, it's high schoolers and then everybody else. That will be the real full test.
JCPS plans to roll out a partnership with T-Mobile for its pending bus tracking app. According to the district, the technology will use T-Mobile software and EDU Log for an app interface. EDU Log's website says the company serves districts as large as 1.8 million students. In southern Indiana, the Greater Clark County team uses Ride 360. Director of Transportation Daniel Borders calls it a benefit, not just for parents, but for drivers too.
Tell our drivers all the time, when you look in that rearview mirror, don't look at it as 30, 40, 50 kids. I mean, that's representing 30, 40, 50 worlds.
The transmission wasn't seamless. Borders said at first the school system had separate providers for bus GPS systems and the app, but they're now consolidated. To read more about JCPS's reopening plan or to see the school board's meeting in full, we have a link for you on our website, WHAS11.com.
Coming up on 10 after the hour, and the West End pool is beyond repair. That's according to the city's Assistant Director of Planning. Those of you in the Algonquin neighborhood were invited to give your input on what to do with the Algonquin pool. The city plans to replace the entire pool, which is about 60 years old. In the plans, there are some new slides, a climbing wall, and a splash pad. People in the West End have been calling for renovations now for years, but this time it's different because the project has actual funding.
We're basically taking a pool that was built in the 60s and bringing it up to current standards, and we want to make it something fun for kids to play in.
There's also the Camp Taylor pool, which is near Poplar Level and the Waterson. That needs some serious renovations. Already about $9 million has been allocated to improve the pools. There will be another meeting tomorrow that's happening at 6 p.m. at the Park Hill Community Center.
A Jeffersonville funeral home director will no longer be able to do business in Indiana after a state board permanently revoked his license this week. Randy Langford is the owner of Langford Funeral Home and Family Center. He pleaded guilty on 43 felony counts after police found 31 bodies improperly stored and decomposing in July of last year. The State Board of Funeral and Cemetery Services permanently revoked his license this month. Langford agreed to a plea deal and was sentenced to serve 4 years of probation.
We would like to wish the students and staff members of Nelson County Schools a big welcome back this morning. It's the first day of school for the district. We've got more than 4,000 students in 11 different schools heading back to class. And we'll mention that includes Taylor County heading back today. The district there is comprised of 5 schools serving close to 3,000 students, right there with Campbellsville in the center.